What's up, YouTube? Today we are going to talk about the Schrade SCHF59. Very creatively named. They were scraping the bottom of the barrel when they named this thing. Whoa. The Schrade SCHF59. Here in SCHF 59 or just 59. This thing, fixed blade knife. I got this knife for my wife. Yes, for my wife. Why did I do that? Well, a buddy of ours was here visiting and he had a larger Schrade hanging from his belt. I was like, that's a pretty sick knife. Let me see that. And he showed me and I said, what'd you give for that? It says 35 bucks. 35 bucks. Okay, cool. So I went on Amazon and I found this for $25. No, we don't have affiliate links. You can just tappy tap tap. The Schrade SCHF59 is the name of this knife. 59, the 59. Okay, and they have lots of the 27 and the 52 and the 36, and they need, you know what they need? They need somebody working in a marketing department somewhere to give this like a cool name. The Schrade Eagle Talon or whatever. But I bought this knife, truthfully, because it reminded me of this knife, the Ontario Rat 3. And I wanted my wife to have a knife so she could stop borrowing my knife when we're out here working on the homestead. And I figured for 25 bucks, we'll give it a shot. If we like it, we'll keep it. If we don't like it, we'll give it to one of the patrons on Patreon. So here it is. First off, the steel, I don't know what kind of steel this is, but it's Chinesium. And it's like very Aus 7-ish. It reminds me of Gerber Mystery Steel, like the type of steel in the Gerber Big Rock and the Gerber Profile. It very much so, the feel of the steel reminds me of a Gerber Profile. You know, the $18 fixed blade knife with the gut hook on the back of it you can buy at the Walmart case? That's this steel. Soft, you know, just hard enough to retain an edge, ish, kind of. It's got a coating on it, as you can see. It is not a raised coating. It's just, you know, a micrometer, thin, or a millimeter thin rather. Very thin coating, but it looks good. It's a good looking knife. The handle is like G10 wannabe cast plastic, but it has these crazy like wormhole grooves in it. You see that? And the issue with that for me is that while it does provide purchase in the hand, it's the texture doesn't actually line up with any indexing of your fingers. It's just there. So there's not a great place for your fingers to land in here. It wasn't thoughtful when they put these grooves in. They just put these grooves in. Now it does provide purchase. It's just kind of, it creates some hot spots where the tips of your fingers land on this knife. Is it a deal breaker? No, but I could see it becoming annoying after a while if you use this knife constantly. The flip side of that though is in gloves. This would definitely lock in gloves because there's a lot of hard point contact between your gloved hands and the scales. They're held on with Torx screws, not rivets, and there you can see the SCHF59 Schrade stamped into the knife. It's the grind on it is good. It's not sharp. We'll just get to that right now. 3x5 index card. Are you ready? Versus it's not sharp. So inside. Oh, you're here for the knife show? Cool. 1 minute. So it's not sharp. You could definitely spend some time on a stone with this and get it sharp. but it doesn't come terribly sharp. You could spread peanut butter with it for sure, but I would not try and do any, you know, carving or cleaning an animal with this knife with the edge that comes from the factory. Now, it is a $25 knife. This is a $25 knife, but remember, this is a $30 knife. So, you know, different philosophies of use though. It is undercut here, but there is no choil. There is jimping on the back, but it might as well not be there. It does nothing. If anything, it's just gives you a place for your thumb to index, but it doesn't actually do anything. It has a little tiny right here. That's for a ferro rod. See that? And we'll come to that. Now, what really intrigued me about this knife, other than the fact that it seemed very much to me like it was trying to be this knife, the Ontario Company Rat 3, which I love and does have a choil and does have good jimping. This knife is great. This knife is 3 times the cost of the Schrade SCHF59. But if you look at the sheath that it comes with a ferro rod and a striker. And you see this comes off of here, and out comes your ferro rod. I thought this was pretty cool. We do a lot of fire building around here because we have acreage filled with mature trees that haven't been maintained in years. So we literally have 4 burn piles that are going pretty much every day just trimming trees around here because the whole place needs a haircut. So I like the fact that it has a ferro rod and a ferro rod holder built into it. That's cool. I've not used it. What I don't like about it though, yes, you want to swing? Yep. 1 minute, okay? Bubba, can you swing her, please? What I don't like about it is that this, look at the size of the belt loop. It's like 3 1/4 inches. That's the first thing. The second thing is, see this? I can see that wearing out over time because this is just plastic. Okay, this is injection molded plastic. Here's the main issue. When this goes in here, the retention is really good. Really good. Borderline jumpable. Okay? So, right here is where it catches. So, what I don't like is if you actually sharpen this thing and you had to get this knife out of there, you're putting a lot of pressure on a knife to bring an edged weapon out of its sheath. I'm not crazy about that, but you can see right there, see where the pinch point is? You could take a file or a Dremel or something and clean up that interface to where it still retained it, but it wasn't that to get it out again. But you combine the amount of force it's going to take to get that out with the size of the belt loop, and this thing is going to be riding up and down on your belt all the time. I'm not crazy about that. Is there a way around it? Yeah. I think you can clean up this interface so that it still retains, but you don't have to have, you know, a world's strongest man, you know, semi-championship plaque on the wall in order to be able to get this thing out. And rather than this, you could put a tech lock on the back like that. And yes, this tech lock is held together with duct tape because this is a hard use knife and we do hard use things with it. But this tech lock has held up on this case immensely well. Yes, baby. Big swing? Okay, I'll be right there. So, anyway, the Schrade SCHF59, $25. Is it worth it? I'd say that's for you to decide. If all you have is 25 bucks and you want a fixed blade knife and you have a little bit of time on your hands, sure. You know what though? You can get a Mora companion for 15 bucks and get a ferro rod for 5 bucks. You'd probably be better served with that than this. And the Mora comes sharp enough to shave with out of box. The only difference is it doesn't look super cool. And this looks super cool. But all in all, I think that this knife is trying to be this knife, and it's not. I'm gonna let my wife run it, and if she loves it, we'll keep it. And if she doesn't, I'll give it to one of the patrons. Schrade SCHF59. You be the judge.